That's fun.
From school.
This is called Rotary Club. Do you remember when I went to craft auction, we had that in the meeting and we looked around, we saw those pedal cars and everything? Yeah, it was Rotary. And this is what this is, but
share a screen instead of having a screen. No.
Spec Zooms. Okay.
I got it. They're on. Yeah, we got it. You're good. Okay. So then when she presents though, well, actually, it's doing now, right? Are you gonna do share screen? No, I'm just gonna run it close. I mean, share screen bar. Right. Share screen, share with that. Oh, perfect. So if I just do this, that's our screen. Right? Or is it this one? This one's. And then where? Oh, so where's the presentation? It's here, right? So I share screen there. So your screen sharing. Right?
Yep, so that's how you go into it when she's ready to present.
And
And then you're gonna run.
okay, so we're on Zoom. She's got a presentation. It's a little wonky in the fact that the internet's awful, but we are on lights and we're on hotspot. So she's here and you're sharing the screen just so you know. And you're being recorded on Zoom as well. And that's all this presentation. On our Facebook YouTube channel. Okay. So we are, I'm sorry, it said it was gonna take 17 hours to download. Just guys.
Hours. Right.
Sort of pivoting. It's
I have a flash drive.
We got it right here. Yeah, he brought it in. It's just a PDF instead of the PowerPoint.
And you took it from this?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I mean, whatever he brought in.
Make sure.
Here.
It's oh, yeah, this is not, it's not it.
We can still run Zoom, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Good noon. I guess it is afternoon now. Welcome to our April 4th, 2022, in case you didn't know the date, Rotary meeting. So I was first going to ask if anybody believes in karma. What goes around comes around. The Bible says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I got my fingers caught in a mousetrap this week. Yeah, if you were here a couple months ago with our mousetrap activity, you know that was payback. My husband had set this trap somewhere in the basement, and I'm digging through looking for something, and all of a sudden my fingers got a mousetrap. First time ever, so karma. It wasn't a bear, or we set those things too. There's traps all over. So thanks to our greeters, Carly Kovitz and Andy Mose. Said somebody else on my list. And social media. Greg, thank you. So, you know, the internet here is a little iffy sometimes, but they have got it worked out. And so we'll start out. Can you guys take a break for the pledge? Or should I keep talking? I have more stories.
Got it. Great.
Can I pledge it?
Fire.
I'm the United Republic for which it stands, one nation, for God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I belong. I was brilliantly weaving at the twilight's last eve, whose crossfires and rise. Must be lost. We're singing on the peace. Around this. I want to see. It proved the night, and the flag was still there. Oh, say does as a thing. And never get quit. For the land and of the free, and the home, the grace.
All right, Diane Jortner will come lead us in the invocation.
It's springtime and a time when we all see new life. Major religions all have special times this year, so we think about Ramadan, which celebrates the night of power during which God revealed the Quran to the prophet. And it's a time for Muslims to purify themselves. In Hinduism, let me say it right, Raman Navami is the Supreme Godhead's birthday, and their festival indicates victory of good over evil. Passover, from April 15th to the 23rd, is a major biblically derived Jewish holiday, and the Passover meal recounts the story of the Exodus as Jews celebrate Passover as a commemoration of the liberation by God from slavery in ancient Egypt and their freedoms. And Easter, of course, it's the most celebrated season for Christianity, a holiday kept commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead after his crucifixion. It's a day of gratitude for God's gift of eternal life. So we pray, and as we pray, we notice the changing seasons, and we celebrate the spring religious holidays this month. May we use this time for reflection, purification, virtue, gratitude, and renewal, and rededicate ourselves to service in our religions and in Rotary. Amen.
Thank you very much, Diane. Carly, would you like to come, or Andy, and introduce our guest today? Thank you, Andy.
Afternoon, we have one guest today. We have a guest of Santa Joseph, and our guest is Cindy Sisson. Ball State University.
What is it?
Was Sydney or Sydney?
Sydney. And Deb Crystal will come. Sorry. Oh, Deb Good snuck in. Great.
Chat for it now.
Literally snuck in. It is my pleasure, as always, to introduce wonderful students. And today they are from Morgan Township. Before I forget, which I have done in the past, that we are honored to have their principal, Mr. Chris George, with us here today. And I am going to ask our students, they will introduce themselves, Jax Whited and Julia Spill.
Yeah, I'm Jack Whited. I go to Marquette Township. I'm a senior. Next year, I committed to Purdue University in West Lafayette to study biomedical. I like Purdue better than IU, so. I'm just saying, so. But beyond that, my dad, his name is Albert Whited. He's Indiana State Police detective. And my mom is Antoinette Whited. She is a nurse in cardiology, and she actually just got her master's degree, which I think is pretty cool. As far as organizations I'm involved with, my school and community, to be honest, there's a lot, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down. I would do the ones that are most important to me. The first one, I have my youth group. Church is something I've been going to for a really long time. The people that I go to youth group with, I don't go to a big church or anything like that, so it's just small people that I grew up with, people I'm close to, so it means a lot to me to kind of go to that, spend time with them. Another one is class president. I'm our class president, so along with Julia, she's the vice president. We've been planning our graduation. We tried going on a senior trip, 2 of them actually. Sometimes things just don't work out, which is okay. But kind of just the planning stage, stuff like that is good to kind of get used to. And then the last one I said is DECA. DECA has kind of actually led me into getting the job that I just got and just give me some good business skills that I think are really useful for now, but also in the future. And then, so I mentioned I'm going to be doing engineering. My main kind of career objectives are, so I'm going to go study biomedical engineering. I hope to kind of get a job, like a good foundation, get a good grasp of it. I eventually want to work from home. It's something that, I think family is really important. So I think being able to be at home, spend more time with my family later in life is really important. And eventually trying to own my own company. I know that's a big task, and I am not aware of everything that I'd be getting myself into for that, but it is something that I want to try and do. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
And I'm also a senior at Morgan Township. And my parents are Mike and Patty Spillman. My dad is an engineer, and then my mom is an elementary teacher at Morgan. And in the fall, I'm proud to say that I'm going to go to Purdue. Engineering. And I really want to go into electrical engineering to challenge myself. And I really want a intellectually and financially rewarding job. And I think that is perfect for me. And I have 2 siblings, an older sister and a brother. And in my school, I'm involved as a class vice president, and I'm also the president of Honor Society, and I'm in student counseling key club. And one thing that's really important to me is community service. And so, yeah, I like to be very involved throughout the school. And yeah, that's about it.
My disadvantage to coming in late as I did is that I did not get to forewarn them about the IU 13 comments that might be made.
We have a gift for you for being here. This year, we're growing and increasing our leadership and helping emerging leaders. So we have a book for you, How Successful People Win, and a little more information about Rotary, our Rotary group and its history. We love having you. Thank you so much. And I'll give one to your principal also. Okay, for assumption of arms, come on down, Mary, Joe, Jamie. Miss Lucy. Love her hair.
Thank you. Hi, y'all. Let's start with good news. Craig Farrell.
Propel was announced as an all-state player for Class 3A State of Indiana for baseball.
I have two announcements. I'll make it quick. First is good news. I just went to my son's match day out at UCLA, and you guys' first choice will be at University of Wisconsin-Madison, a little closer to home. So I'll have to drop a special day to go see him going forward. He'll be doing family medicine there, so that's good news. The other one, Deb told me to make this announcement here. I got a text from a former DCS attorney that I used to work with, whose husband is a pastor in this area, and she's been working with a church out in California with Ukrainian refugee situation, and she was asked to take a family in. It's a rather large family. It's not just the family, there are some girlfriends and boyfriends too. So she is going to take 4 of the family members. Her son's going to take 2 of them, and there are 2 remaining little gentlemen who need housing still. One of them has cancer and will need help getting to Chicago for cancer treatments, but they've arranged this for him. So I told her I would spread the news everywhere I can think of. So, I've been telling everybody I know in the church. If you happen to know somebody, if you're inspired yourself, please come and speak. Thanks.
Anybody else? Good news.
I'm not sure it's good news, but it's news. So on behalf of Stu Summers, I'm going to make a $100 donation to the, see the lights going out. They don't even want me. Villanova lost to Kansas this Saturday, and hopefully you all weren't as heartbroken as my 4 young boys were. So I'm going to console them all night long. But a bet is a bet. So I'm making a $100 donation to the Rotary Foundation on behalf of Stu Summers. Good luck to your Kansas Jayhawks.
All right, and this is more of a reminder for tomorrow evening at 5:30. If you are free and would like to come and meet some of our Rotarians, our satellite Rotarians, we are doing a mixer over at Elements Wine Bar at 5:30. We would love to have you there and join us.
Anybody else? I have good news. Tonight I'm gonna join a football league. So next week I may be in a cast, but all right. So the one little talk I wanted to give, short and sweet. How many of y'all play Wordle? All right, good portion of the room. How many people don't know what Wordle is? All right, cool. So I love Wordle, and I'm not very good at it at all. My thing with Wordle is, well, let me explain what it is. Essentially, it's a word game. It's owned by the New York Times. It was originally created by Josh Wardle, W-A-R-D-L-E, not Wordle like the game, W-O-R-D-L-E. It's not an app, and it's free. And it's on the New York Times website, but you can make it go on your phone, which is a really cool little trick. But essentially the game was sold for in the low 7 figures. because it just caught on. This software guy writes this program and then he shares it and everyone's playing for free. And it's a fun way to kind of join in. I'll explain it in an analogy that I like. I like to be doing things that other people are doing in the world too, right? So like at church, when we're saying the Our Father, many other Catholics all over the United States are saying the Our Father possibly at the same time or maybe even within that hour. Like that's kind of cool, right? Saying the Pledge of Allegiance, same thing, right? Things that you're doing that other people all over the world are doing too. Essentially, it's a 5-letter word. This is where I have a problem. I'm really good at 4-letter words. I know I come up with but then the 5-letter words, and you get 6 chances. And if you don't get it at all, you get an X. I get a lot of X's. One other thing. Oh, people like to start their first word with the most vowels. So arise is a good one. Irate. I get that. Also Euler. I like Euler. It's a good one because you get a lot of vowels, right? So once you get the vowels, then you go with RSTLNE. Who knows what that's from? Yeah, I like it. All right. That's all I got. Play Wordle and let me know how you do.
There you go.
There's also Absurdle. Check it out.
Good job. Thank you very much. Hi, Reed. Make your announcement, please, while Annetta's coming to do hers.
So on April 20th, we're gonna have our room pick up, maybe in the morning, details are pending. We'll be up on the north side of town there, and we've got that section from 500 to 49. So more details will be coming.
Okay, so your Rotary Literary Committee has been busy. This year, we are going to focus on financial literacy. And next week, starting on Saturday, is Money Smart Week. And so we are going to be having a launch party for our 4 story walks that will be in and around the Valparaiso community. So you have a flyer on your table. We have 4 different books that focus on money. They also happen to relate to a program that I do, which is called Captain Cash. So the 4 different topics are earn money, spend money, save money, and borrowing money. And so at our launch party, because, you know, the captain launches his ship. Anyway, we will have some information there and we'll be giving out some different small storybooks. And then we are also partnering, of course, with our public library, our Valpo library, as well as the Valpo parks and the county parks. And so there are 4 different locations for our story walks. It's at Sunset Hill, it's at our Rotary Library, or Rotary Park, and so that's where our garden. And that's where our launch party will be. And so there will be 4 different opportunities for people to read a book. And if you get a passport and you fill in the missing word and turn it into the Valpo library, then you'll be able to get a piggy bank for each of the kids. So I encourage you all to participate. Come and join us at the launch party on the 9th, this Saturday from 10 to 12. Okay. I'm missing. We're gonna go and teach Captain Cash.
Some of all the activities not everybody knows about what's going on through Rotary and in coordination with other local organizations and groups. And when Ellen and Doug put together the 5-year plan, part of that was to work with other organizations in the community to make even a bigger impact. And so we're also planning our day of screen that will be May 13th. You'll get more information on that coming. It's going to be a children's leadership conference of all things. And our literacy committee is working with that. We have tons of children's popular books from Scholastic to even give out that day. So more coming up on that. And the books on the table are, our forthcoming speaker on April 18th is the author of that book. She will be by Zoom that day. And I'd like to present the book on this table, Principal George, to take back to his elementary school library. And I would like to give away one more of those books today, so whoever would like to come and tell me they'd like a book after the meeting can have one. And she wrote this book. It's been introduced to the Library of Congress, Washington, DC, and the illustrations are awesome. So I think that's all of the announcements for right now. Or has missed something. So I'm going to call our grants director, Chris Rouse, is so awesome, to introduce you today. Offer.
But good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Marie Foster-Brun, who is the president and CEO of One Region. Prior to taking on this role, Marie was the chief experience officer for the Purdue Alumni Association in West Lafayette. Marie earned an MBA with honors and bachelor's degree from Purdue University, so another Purdue grad. She has served on the Big Shoulder Fund Board of Directors as an advisor for Professional Young Women of Northwest Indiana, NERC's Economic Resiliency Council, the Greater South Shore, and the Ready Grant Committee for Northwest Indiana. Marie is a painter and a pianist who enjoys getting distracted by kayaking and traveling with her husband, Norvin, and 5 children. Let's have a warm welcome for Marie.
Hi, everyone. So I just want to make a disclaimer here. All those Purdue credentials going on there, but we do have 2 students at IU Bloomington, so all of our money's going there. So it balances out in the end. Okay? So I'm here to talk a little bit about the chicken and the egg scenario in Northwest Indiana and the for this in our region. So we're going to kind of let's see if this slideshow thing works here, but thanks, Kelly, for moving it. So One Region is a 501c3. Many of you know this, in existence for quite a while now. And it's a membership organization, so made up of business executives from around the region. And our mission is to grow population, attract and retain talents, and increase household income. Here's a list of our members, and basically they have chosen our direction in the blueprint, which I'll talk about today, of where we're going as an organization. The output of our work really is about education and convening. And many of this behind the scenes, you don't even know that One Region's in the middle of some of these things, but that's our output. And so many of you were at the Destination 2024 Housing Summit that we had in February. That was in partnership with others. It's one of the outputs of One Region. We're hosting a bus trip this summer for transit-oriented development. We do a lot in the media to get the word out about things. But a lot of our work is in one-on-one or with communities and organizations to kind of move some priorities forward. So today is the blueprint for propelling a region in a chicken and egg scenario. So let's first define the chicken and egg scenario. But before I do that, I want to talk about population, okay? Our population as a region, and this is Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties, has grown minimally. Luckily, it's not declining, but it is a slow and steady growth for our region. And you can see different cities and where they fall in this. But as a whole, as a region, we really need to make sure we really grow this population. I mean, Chicago's around 15%, national average in the 30s. So to have an incremental growth of a couple percent is really not great for our region. One of our strategies for this is to diversify our economy to be able to bring in other jobs that would attract others to our region. So here it is, chicken and egg scenario. Okay. In order to grow population, we know that we need to attract workforce. We need to bring in a population to be able to work here and grow here. And our universities are producing graduates in a diverse economy. We have computer scientists, we have cybersecurity experts, but they're not staying, okay? So why? Here's the egg. Talent, believe it or not, wants jobs. Who knew, right? So then
we're now attracting industries to try to provide the jobs needed to get this workforce to stay, and the talent to stay here. And the industries are saying, well, we need the workforce to be able to invest here. And so as a region, I mean, this is very normal, especially in the Midwest, is dealing with this situation. How do we move up the region ahead and attract population? So in the chicken and the egg scenario, do you guys know the answer for chicken and the egg scenario? It's neither. It's the nest. You start with the nest because that actually helps both. So what we're looking at here is the nest. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's the blueprint for that nest that we're trying to work on to create the right environment for both the chicken and the egg. It all starts with opportunities and leveraging them to build the nest. And so what opportunities are here? We're going to start with this picture. Okay, you all know this, right? And actually this was taken, this is Google Maps. You can't really predict when they're going to be bringing on the new pictures, right? So this one's from 2017. And if you can go to the next one, this was in 2007, so 10 years prior. This was your asset, okay? When we're talking about building a nest, it starts with an asset and leveraging them for something. So this was your asset. You had property, you had a parking lot, you had growing downtown. And it took a vision to then say, all right, here's our asset that we have, this property, and they go back up again. And then to create this that attracts over 300,000 visitors to downtown Valparaiso. And so it took that vision and that work and that coordination among all of you to make that happen. And so go back, keep going down. And the next one is this one, which you all know, Urshel Pavilion, which is amazing. Thank you, Rick.
It's called the Billy.
Yeah, thanks. So over here, right? Before, so again, you can keep going. That was just 6 years prior, according to Google Maps, this is what it looked like. And again, here's your assets, and then what's the vision for creating something that's going to attract and build an amazing downtown that you guys have worked on. Keep going. And the last one I promised is this intersection, which you all know very well. And ironically, I just wanted to take the old picture, the oldest picture, which is 11 years prior. If you can go down again, oh, it's like almost the same. In fact, there's a couple out over here that's actually in business. And one thing we have to remember, our assets either get better or they get worse. They never stay the same. And so leveraging them to create something, which I talked to Stu earlier, and leveraging them takes a vision and it takes persistence, which this LINK project that you all are doing, and even this new visioning session for all generations, right? This is so important because it's leveraging assets to create something amazing for a future. Okay, so now that you all are in the same mindset as me, you understand what I'm talking about. Let's keep going. Here's our assets as a region that are coming on. And these assets are once in a multi-lifetime. So the red is our rail line. And again, it goes down to Dyer as well. But this rail line connects Chicago to South Bend. And then you have in the yellow, the toll road and the data that's ignited under the toll road that spans our whole region as well. And that can go on all the way like to the East Coast, right? So that toll road is an asset to us. The same as that downtown parking lot that became the Billy Pavilion, right? And then the last one is the Marquette Greenway, which one region has really been striving for and pushing for, and the whole region is as well. And the reason why these are such important assets is it's connecting us in a way we've never been connected before. And so this is part of the blueprint for us on the chicken and the egg. The nest is not saying, let's create this quality of life thing. We're going to create this park, which all of those are important. But one region works on, let's go beyond that. what is something that's so large that people aren't even necessarily thinking about it? And how do we drive that on behalf of our members to make sure that we're leveraging it to build the proper nest and do everything we need to do? So here are 3 priorities of building this nest, of leveraging these assets to create something over the next 3 years. The first one is an innovation ecosystem. The second one is the transit-oriented development. And the third is the Greater South Shore Initiative. Now, many of you were at the D2024 summit where we talked about transit-oriented development. You've probably been reading about this for many years. So I'm not going to dive into that one today. But I do want to clarify sort of the vision that we're working on for the innovation ecosystem and the Greater South Shore to leverage those assets in that map. So here's a short video. However, I don't know if it's going to play because of the internet, but we'll try. While we're queuing it up, I just want to say that this, like any project, like the LINK project or anything else you all are working on, requires a vision. And so this is just kind of a comprehensive vision on saying these are all these 3 things that one region is trying to do. And this is the future it could create if it all works out and we all align and just these projects ahead to leverage these assets. Did you click on it? Picture? Okay. That's not going. We'll just keep going and see if the vision pops up in a while. We will interrupt you. This, can you go back? We'll see the mouse. Here. I see down there. Let me just escape. Sorry. We'll both see that. It's freaking out. Well, nope. Well, we're trying. I don't know if anybody knows this technology that can help bring it back to the PowerPoint. Perhaps somebody can help her with this while we're improving this. So
Here's an IU grant to help out right now.
oh, come on.
Stinking engineers.
I don't want to waste time because I do know that I'm very limited in that time. So while he's working on this, I'm going to say that this vision has to do with the possible quantum coming in along that toll road and how we can create new an industry corridor along that quantum line along the toll road, and how the TOD that we're trying to get leverages that rail line because we're bringing in housing, denser housing like LINK, for example, that's going to solve some of our housing shortages and that's going to attract younger millennials and then Gen Zs. And that's really what we need for a diversified economy. And when we're talking about bringing in entrepreneurs and innovators, they're looking for walkability. This younger generation wants walkable communities. They want to use transit. And so all of this works together when we're saying, as a region, we can't keep doing what we've been doing. We have to take advantage of these transit-oriented development projects. If you want, I'll just keep going from here. It's just keep going. Yep.
Keep it going.
So let me drill into the Greater South Shore and what this is. Were you on this presentation? Yep. Making sure we're on the same. Yep. So the Greater South Shore is an initiative for aligning Chicago to South Bend. And those of you who are at our luncheon in October, this is when we launched Propel. Propel is the name of our framework that we're working on for the next 3 years. And this Greater South Shore, keep going, is creating a hyper-connected 90-mile corridor from Chicago to South Bend, where we're creating an identity for ourselves. Keep going. The steering committee is made up of not just one region, but other regional leaders throughout Northwest Indiana, as well as Purdue University Northwest. And the minds, the brain power behind this are experts like Gordon Gill, who's on stage at our luncheon, other architects, urban planners, not necessarily from the region, but from all over the world, have done work everywhere. And what they're trying to do is to create an identity for ourselves that goes beyond just Northwest Indiana. The power that we have being on the southern shore of Lake Michigan, we are connected to the whole Great Lakes trading block. And we are a very powerful area if we understand our identity, and that's what this is about. The vision, I said, is to create this 90-mile advanced research, applied science, technology, and manufacturing corridor to create a destination for business to come here. This is what it would look like. Again, you can see those assets in there as well. And it's just combining and aligning all of us to be this one identity. Keep going. Maximizing the investments of the commuter rail, of the NIPSCO regeneration plants that are the coal-fired generation plants leaving, taking advantage of that fiber optic network under the toll road, and creating this coordinated area where we can actually attract investments we've never attracted before. Research Triangle is one of these in North Carolina. And you can see how, look, we can fit 3 of them in our Northwest Indiana. It's completely doable. We have that identity here of being the greater South Shore, just as if for the Research Triangle. And then also Silicon Valley. It's ironic, I would say, that Chicago is to San Francisco as Silicon Valley is to Northwest Indiana. And that's the identity we're talking about here, is how do we really align ourselves to be something bigger than alone. Atlanta Beltline did this. They had investments of data, rail, and even the trail coming in. Go ahead. I'm trying to hurry because the video thing took some time. They invested $590 million to attract over $4.6 billion in investment, and it's becoming a destination business. And the next one aligned with this is innovation and creating an innovation ecosystem here in Northwest Indiana. So if we upgraded our identity to become this powerful force in the Midwest, then we can create an innovation ecosystem to support that. Now, many different places think that we just build a building and suddenly we're going to have innovators. That's not how it works. Those are empty buildings at the end of the day. And there's a real rhythm to creating an ecosystem here, and this is the work I'm doing right now. Why is this important? The IEDC knows how important this is. This is a chart that Julie Heath shared with me. They're trying to launch innovation ecosystems all over our state. Because you can see the very top line there, businesses that are less than 5 years old have the most net growth in jobs. Not only that, but in economic downturns, you can see that in those years, the companies with less than 5 years of existence actually keep their jobs and the most resilient for our economy. And these have to do with tech startups because they can grow so quickly if you have the right investment into them. And I wanted to show you, this is kind of the process of how this works, okay? It always starts with a problem to solve. And so right now I've been aligning different industries. Urshel is one that has been at the table on this conversation, is what, we have these innovative industries around our region. And what is it that you all need us to be looking at? So for example, the air compressors industries, they are needing lithium ion batteries. The steel mill is looking for hydrogen regeneration. And so they're so far out that their own R&D departments aren't able to focus on them. These are the problems that we have the ability to solve. When we have a quantum line coming through here, do you know that the Dean of Engineering at Valparaiso University is a quantum scientist? Do you know that they have, I'm sure you do from Valparaiso, but Valparaiso University has a solar powered hydrogen generation lab right here that could start solving some of these. Our students are learning these, but they're not creating the startups to be able to create a business out of them. And we can create that. So you start with the problem, it goes to these different people, higher ed, K through 12, our workforce, for example, I'm talking to Lisa about upskilling our workforce to be able to be knowledgeable on these things. They take these ideas and then capital invests in them, and then they turn into startups through our venture capital startup accelerators. These accelerators are already being developed. So I don't want you to think, oh, that one region, they're like in some kind of dreamland. There are startup and venture capital studios launching right now in the region. We just don't talk about it. And last slide is keep in mind, there is a process that works here for these startups. It's just like a fire. The entrepreneur has these ideas they bring to the table. That's the spark for a fire. To keep the fire going, though, you have to have 3 different things. You have to have oxygen, fuel, and heat. And the oxygen is capital. So capital invests in these ideas first. When that happens, then you get people to grow these startups. And then that you have a place. You can't get the place, you'll have an empty building if you start with that. And so these are the things we're looking at, is how do we get the right alignment of all these different players around our region to create this innovation ecosystem to support the growth of our region. Any questions? Next steps, it's probably time to go, but if you do, feel free to stay after. You can ask me now, whatever you need. But I just wanted to give you a nice overview of what we're doing as a region and where we're going as a whole. Great, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for that very informative presentation, and I'm very sorry that we weren't able to play your video. I think we've been through some tech problems in our lifetime, if you have any experience at all in speaking. And we will be donating a children's book to the local library in your honor, so thank you. And so everybody, look forward to coming next week. That tech problem kind of got my head in a spin, and I can't shut my phone off. I turn it on Zoom and I keep hearing it talk. I can't even stop it. So I can't complain about technology. Well, my 4-year-old granddaughter did say this weekend that phone's difficult. So April 11th, next week, Katie Abel with Valparaiso events hosted by Doug Mock. The following week will be our Zoom in international speaker and author, Gloria J. Burgess. And I invite you all to check out our Facebook page. If you aren't aware, there's a Valparaiso Rotary Facebook page. We try to keep that updated with upcoming speakers so that you can look there too for information. So are there any announcements, Debbie?
Just World Affairs Conference, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. I'm getting volunteers. If you have anybody who wants to volunteer, let me know. It will be good to stay up, depending on how long you're there.
Oh, that's right, our World Affairs Conference. To stay afterwards and talk to Debbie right now can help with that. Is that okay? Of course, stand and close with the 4-way test. See you all. Of the things we think fair, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill, but friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Is it Yes.
It's like, yeah. Oh, there you go. Your mic phone off? Yeah, I got it on, yeah.